Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Kelley Michelle. Welcome to another segment of Tuesday Thoughts. Today's segment is about a quote, well, not necessarily a quote, but just a theme, a thought that is in this book that I'm currently reading, which is called The Sun Does Shine by Anthony Ray Hinton. And he is a inmate. Well, he's not an inmate any longer, but he was an inmate in jail in a correctional facility in prison, I believe for over 25 years, if not 30 years. He was wrongly accused of double murder, which he did not do. And he was exonerated a few years ago, and so he wrote a book about his experience. And I just began the book recently, but one of the things that really caught my attention, and actually an interview that he had was with Oprah Winfrey about the book, was he had said that even though he was in prison, he was never in prison in his mind. And he talked about how in his mind he had gone and traveled all across the world, and in his mind he had been married and had children and had all of these different experiences. And even though he didn't do them physically because he physically was in prison, in his mind he had done those things. And so I thought that that was such a powerful thing to do, and such a powerful way to live, and something that I thought would be a great topic for Tuesday Thoughts, because we can be imprisoned, physically, but we also can be imprisoned in our minds. We can set ourselves up like a jail in our actual minds. But for him, even though he was physically in prison, he allowed himself to not be imprisoned in his mind. And that's why he was able to sustain himself for 30 years. I think it was 30 years that he was in prison, being accused for something he did not do, being wrongfully accused, because he kept living. And he kept living because of the experiences that he had in his mind. His mind was not in prison, but his mind was in Paris. His mind was in France. His mind was, continuing to learn. He was continuing to educate himself. He was continuing to have imagination and to have dreams and to have, goals, even though he was in prison. And so I'm encouraging you today. We might not be physically in prison, in the physical holding cell, but we can be in prison in our minds. We can be held captive in our minds. We can be, held in a little tiny cell in our minds. And so I want to encourage you today, like I'm encouraging myself, to look at the things that we have created false imprisonments on and break out of those things. So that has been today's Tuesday Thought. I definitely want to hear from you, and I also recommend that book. Like I said, I'm just beginning the book. It's called The Sun Still Shines. The Sun Does Shine by Anthony Ray Hinton. And I want to encourage you today to look at areas in your life where you might be in prison, and where you need to change your thought patterns and your thought habits so you can break free. As always, please leave your comments, your suggestions, your personal stories in the comment section. And until next time, thank you for joining me, and have a terrific Tuesday.